I remember back in the late 90s, early 2000s, text messages became very popular. It got to the point where you no longer had to pay for the text, whereas you had to back then. It's a very convenient way to get in touch with your friends or family. As a matter of fact, it's probably one of the most used ways to get in contact with people. With the advent of smartphones, and with every form of communication, sometimes it could be used for nefarious purposes. Or with most electronics, it could have a glitch, which seems to come off creepy and unsettling. There was a post on Reddit. It asked users what was the creepiest or most unexplained phone calls they've ever gotten. And here are a few that stood out to me. For me, it was an unknown number. The text was really short. All it said was, "Corpse Orgy." The thing is, it wasn't even a question. There was a period at the end of the message. It was a statement, which should have been even more disconcerting. I'm honestly not sure. I got a text message from an unknown number that said, "In 5 you are dead." In 5 what? I've never died since then. Not even after 5 minutes, 5 weeks, 5 months, or even 5 years. I received a picture of a woman with a knife to her throat. She had tape over her mouth. And everything. It was disturbing. I immediately called the police. They brought me to the station, and some of the forensic guys took the picture off my phone, and they had me sign a waiver that they can collect my call data. They erased the picture from my phone, and the cop dropped me back off at my house. That was the last thing I heard of it. I got a text message that said, "I want to the table." It was a random number. After that event, when I went to school, the same message was carved into the desk. I'm not sure if this belongs here, but this happened, and I can't explain it. There was a text between my brother and me. My brother texted me at 10:24 p.m., saying, "When?" Then I texted back, "When what?" Then my brother came back with, "Are they driving down?" So I texted back, "Who?" He called me immediately and asked me why I was asking questions, like I just texted him questions, without any prompting. He explained that he got the text from me, asking if Annie and a kin were driving down. That was our cousin and her husband. But I never sent that text. I tell my brother this, and he thinks I'm joking. Then he sent me a screenshot, showing the text that he got from me. I see the screenshot on his phone, with a message history. I never sent the text that he received. We don't discuss my cousin and her husband, so it's not an old text. Also, my cousin and I live in Washington, while my brother is in North California. There wouldn't be a good reason for me to ask him this. It totally gives me the chills. Did I just get a message from a parallel universe? I was lounging by myself around the house. I was watching TV. I got a text message on my phone. It said, "Lindsay, I see you," from a number that I wasn't familiar with. I knew nobody could see where I was. I was on my bed, upstairs, and I had my shades down. But out of instinct, I looked around anyway. I even peered out the window. Nobody was there. It was a cold, blistery day, so there weren't many people out. So I texted back, "Who are you? Who is this?" I got the reply, "Just a friend. Someone who watches your every move. I'm your little guardian angel." Now, I know this wasn't a friend, because none of my friends text like that. And they all know how to spell. None of them would have spelled the word angel wrong. So I texted back, "You're no friend of mine if you can't spell my name right, and you can't even spell angel correctly." The response was, "Doesn't matter. You're having fun watching your TV." This gave me the chills. Who could be watching me? There was nobody around, unless this person was in my house. So I ran around checking the doors and the windows, also the other rooms, and my garage. I was definitely the only one there. I settled down in the family room, and I texted back, "If you don't tell me who you are, I'm calling 911. The reply, "Good luck with that. I'm sitting right next to you, but nobody will ever find me." I stupidly looked behind me. Of course no one was there, but by that time I was getting pretty freaked out. I grabbed my home phone and I dialed the number of the texter. It was just what I feared. It was an automated answering service that stated, "We're sorry, that number that you dialed is not in service." I tried telling myself that maybe the texter didn't have any minutes. There had to be a logical explanation for this. Someone was just playing a sick prank on me? Then I get this text. "I love your new blonde hair." Now, I just got my hair done on my 28th birthday, just a few days ago. Very few people had seen it. Not even most of my friends had seen it. I haven't even updated my picture on Facebook. By this point, I was panicking pretty bad, and I'm close to tears. So I did the most rational thing I could think of. I called 911. The operator tried to calm me down. After I explained that I thought someone was in my house and sending me threatening text messages from an unidentified number, the operator said that they would send someone to investigate. Right after hanging up, I get this. "Lizzie, why did you have to do that?" "Do what?" I texted back. "You know what you did." "No, I'm sorry. I don't know what this is in reference to," hoping that this texter would think that I wasn't scared of him. "Lindsay, nobody is going to help you. Nobody is going to believe you." "Why wouldn't they?" I texted back, and the fear was mounting. "'Cause I can't be found. You will only disappoint, like you always do." The texter was starting to get personal, and it was only upsetting me more. "Where are you, you stupid psycho stalker?" I texted back. "Aw, Lizzie, that wasn't nice." "Who are you?" "You will see someday." There was a sudden knock on the door, and I jumped out of my skin. The officer was there. It was an officer I was familiar with. We had actually become friends over the years. He checked out the house and told me what I already knew. Nobody was there. Then I showed him the text messages. He took down the number and said he would try everything he could do to find out who this person was. In the meantime, he said, "Just turn your phone off." So I did. And I honestly haven't gotten any more weird text messages. I haven't heard anything from the police station either. Though I'm hoping they didn't think the whole thing was just a prank. My girlfriend and I, we got up a few minutes ago. We got a text from each other while we were both asleep. Mine was at 1:19 a.m. and it said, "Wait, how did you unfriend me while sending location?" Her message to me was, "Can I die now?" And that one was at 1:21 a.m. Neither of us has the other's sent message, so the one sent from her phone wasn't on mine, and the one on mine isn't on hers. We were both asleep. Both phones were on our nightstand. What the hell's going on? One time I got a text from Bill. I actually don't have any friends named Bill. I live outside of Toronto, and this area code was from Chicago, so I definitely wasn't expecting this. Anywho, Bill proceeded to call me Jerry. That's not my name, but my dad gets called that sometimes. And he tells me that I should have the car out front in 15, because they're going to need a quick pickup. I politely tell him that I'm not Jerry, and he's got the wrong number, and I won't be picking him up. So he throws obscenities at me. He eventually gets back in contact with me, and he apologized to me, and demanded a pickup because he's not going down for all of us. I told him again that I was not Jerry, that Jerry probably set him up. He begged me not to call the police. I emailed Chicago Police's number, but sadly, I have no idea how the story ends. A few months ago, I have an elderly lady call my cell phone. I will get a message that she made pancakes and that I need to come eat them before they get cold. What's weird is when I call it back, the line is always busy. I called my mom's phone, and a little girl whose voice I didn't recognize answered the phone. Hi. May I speak to my mom?
Who are you?
I'm her kid. Who are you?
Your mom's not home.
What about my dad?
He's not home either. I'm alone.
I assumed that this little girl was either the daughter of my parents' friends or one of my cousins, but it made no sense that she was alone in my mom's house. So I thought she was lying. But since she was obviously not going to give the phone to my mom, I said thank you, and for her to have a nice day. I called my mom on her cell phone. She told me that my dad and her were out of town, and no one should be home. I thought I must have called the wrong number, and I thought I called my mom's house. So I double checked and it was correct. When my parents got back, my mom checked the call history, and there was a call from me that lasted 1 minute and 14 seconds. This happened when I was around 16 or 17. I was on a bus in my school's sport uniform when I got a text from this unsaved number asking, "Are you not cold in those thin clothes?" It was a chill morning, so I looked around on the inside of the bus and I immediately got another text. "Stop looking. You're not going to find me." One of my neighbors messaged me and asked me if I'd recently been on the elevator because he could smell me. I said I was. He also said that I was clearly ovulating and very fertile, and that triggered his male senses. There was like 60 apartments in this building, and he was right. That really creeped me out. I once received a text message that said, "I can't wait to make love with your rotting, beautiful corpse." I'm unsure who sent it, and if it was really meant for me, or if it was just a distasteful prank from someone I knew, but it certainly sent chills down my spine. I got a text from a wrong number, and all it said was, "He won't be bothering you anymore. I took care of it." My friend died back in February of 2008. 2 weeks after his funeral, I got a voicemail, but no missed calls. I listened to it, and it was my friend. His message said, "Hey, call me back, biatch. Let's hang." It creeped me out. I called the phone company, and the only explanation they could give me is that his phone must have died in the middle of a voicemail, and when his family charged up his phone, it turned it back on. It still gives me the creeps. 2 a.m. Christmas morning, I get a text from a number I don't know. It just says, "Help me." I texted back saying, "Who is this?" I never got a response. I was playing CSGO. A teammate started out really nice when we started the game. Then we started losing, and he got really toxic. I told him to calm down, or something like that, and he texted me and said, "I will fucking kill you in real life." After the game, he sent me a friend's request. I accepted it, expecting him to do some trash talking and to call me names, but instead, he sent my address, my dad's full name, and my phone number. Being 16, I was terrified. I was texted coordinates with the words, "It's here, come find it." I looked it up on Google Maps. It was far north of the city. I never found out what it was. This was a couple of years ago, when I was still a curious teen. I was just doing normal teenage stuff, like watching porn online, the usual stuff. Suddenly a black command prompt-esque window showed up, and written in it was, "Don't watch porn all the time." The worst part is that I wrote back in the command, "Wow, wow, 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 wow." I know, I'm an intellect. I pressed enter. Immediately another message popped up. It said, "What? Wow, 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 wow? This is your last warning, or I will make you regret it." To this day, I don't know who sent the message, but I suspect it was my ISP. I should probably use a VPN. Back in November of 2019, over 170,000 smartphone users in the United States received a text message on an early Thursday. The senders said they never sent them, or sent them months ago. Some even claimed that they received texts from deceased relatives. This got a lot of attention on Twitter, sparked a lot of theories. Some even went on to claim that it was paranormal. A daughter received the text from when her dad was still alive. It was actually a very sweet, meaningful text for her. Because he passed away, it said that he was proud of her and that he loved her. Back in February of that year, one of the third-party companies which dealt with data transmission went down. This caused an error during the internal maintenance process, which caused a surge of data that was stored when it went down. So all the messages from the Valentine's Day was finally sent out. Thus solving the mystery, right? I found these cases pretty interesting. You know, it's well known that hackers can really get into your phone or any other technology that uses cameras, and they can watch you. It's actually quite common, so that could probably explain some of these events. Not only that, computers glitch. Is it just people playing pranks, glitches? Although I'm sure it's probably comforting for some people to receive text messages from people that they lost, and sometimes not. I personally never really had much problems with my cell phone, probably not charging it or keeping it with me, which I got told often. Not answering my cell phone. It's a mobile device. You should keep it with you. Yes, I know. As a matter of fact, whenever I tell someone to call me, I usually give them my wife's number, because she always tends to be able to get in touch with me, even when I don't have a phone. And if I don't, I hear about it. I just need to learn to be more observant. Eventually, if I have to, I guess. Well, thank you all for joining me. I want to give a special thanks to my patrons, and hopefully, eventually, some members here on YouTube. And I want to say I greatly appreciate all the comments that I get. I try to read every one of them. Well, thank you all for listening, and until next time, this is Dallas, signing off.